So, good day. So, I am Abdul Wahid Abdul Majid. At ngayon ay mag-discuss natin ang tungkol sa Philippine Electrical Code. So, in Chapter 4, Equipment for General Use. So, Article 4.0, so flexible cords and cables. So, these articles covers general requirements, application, and construction specification for flexible cords and flexible cables. So, flexible cords and flexible cables shall comply with this article and with the applicable provision of other articles. So, flexible cords and flexible cables and their associated fittings shall be suitable for the conditions of use and locations. So, Chapter 4.0.1.4, so flexible cords and flexible cables shall conform to this description in Table 4.0.1.4. So, Chapter 4.0.1.5, so ampacity for flexible cords and cables. So, Table 4.0.1.5 so provides the allowable ampacities, and Table 4.0.1.5 A2 provides the ampacities for flexible cords and flexible cables with not more than 3 current carrying conductors. So B, say ultimate insulation temperature. So in no case shall conductor be associated together in such a way with respect to the kind of circuit, the wiring method used, or the number of conductors such that limiting temperature of the conductor is exceeded. So C, engineering supervision. So under engineering supervision, conductor ampacities shall be permitted to be calculated in accordance with Chapter 3.10.2.6C. So Chapter 4.0.1.6, so markings, so standard markings. So flexible cords and flexible cables shall be marked by means of a printed tag attached to the coil, rail, or cartoon. So the tag shall contain the information required in Chapter 3.10.3.17a. So types S, SC, SCA is AO, SEOO is G, SGE, SGEO, SGEOO, SGO, SGT, SGTO, SGTOO, SG, ST, STO, STOO, SEW, SOW, SEOO, and so on and so forth. So, and flexible cords and GC, PP, and W. Flexible cables shall be durably marked on the surface at intervals not exceeding 610 mm with the type designation, size, and number of conductors. So required markings on tags, cords, and cables shall also include the maximum operating temperature of the flexible cord or flexible cable. So B, optional markings. So flexible cords and cables, types listed in Table 4.0.1.4, shall be permitted to be surface marked to indicate special characteristics of the cable materials. These markings include but are not limited to markings for limited smoke, sunlight resistance, and so forth. So Chapter 4.0.1.10, uses permitted. So A, uses. So flexible cords and flexible cables shall be used only for the following. So number 1 is the pendants. Second one is the wiring of luminaries, connection of portable luminaries, portable and mobile signs or appliances. Number 4 is the elevator cables. Number 5, wiring of cranes and hoists. Number 6, connection of utilization equipment to facilitate frequent interchange. Number 7, prevention of the transmission of noise or vibration. Number 8, appliances where the fastening means and the mechanical connection are specifically designed to permit ready removal for maintenance and repair, and the appliance is intended or identified for flexible cord connection. Number 9, connection of moving parts. Number 10, were specifically permitted elsewhere in this code. So, and number 11, so between an existing receptacle outlet and an inlet, where the inlet provides power to an additional single receptacle outlet. So the wiring interconnecting the inlet to the single receptacle outlet shall be in Chapter 3 wiring method. So the inlet, receptacle outlet, and Chapter 3 wiring method, including the flexible cord and fittings, shall be listed assembly specific for this application. So B, attachment plugs. So were used as permitted in Chapter 4.0.1.10 A3 and A6 and A8. Each flexible cord shall be equipped with an attachment plug and shall be energized from a receptacle outlet or cord connector body. Chapter 4.0.1.12, so use is not permitted. So unless specifically permitted in Chapter 4.0.1.10, so flexible cord sets and power supply cord shall not be used for the following. So number 1, so as a substitute for the fixed wiring of a structure. Number 2, will run through holes in walls, structural ceilings, suspended ceilings, drop ceilings, or floors. So will run through doorways, windows, or similar openings. So we're attached to building surface. So exception to number 4. So flexible cord and flexible cable shall be permitted to be attached to the building surfaces in accordance with the provision of Chapter 3.68.2.47b. So were concealed by walls, floors, or ceilings, or located above suspended or drop ceilings. So exception to number 5. So flexible cords and cable shall be permitted if contained within an enclosure for use in other spaces used for environmental air as permitted by Chapter 3.0.1.22c3. So number 6, were installed in raceways, except as otherwise permitted in this code. So number 7, were subject to physical damage. So Chapter 4.0.1.13, so splices. So flexible cord shall be used only in continuous limbs without splice or top were initially installed in applications permitted by Chapter 4.0.1.10a. So the repair of hard service cord and junior hard service cord, so see trade name in the table 4.0.1.4, so 2.0 mm squared or 1.6 mm diameter, and larger shall be permitted if conductor are spliced in accordance with Chapter 1.10.1.14b and the completed splice retains the insulation, outer sheet properties, and usage characteristics of the cords being spliced. Chapter 4.0.1.14, so pull at joints and terminals. The flexible cords and flexible cables shall be connected to devices and to fittings so that tension is not transmitted to joints or terminals. So exceptions. So listed portable single pole devices that are intended to accommodate such tension at their terminals shall be permitted to be used with single conductor flexible cable. Chapter 4.0.1.15, so in show windows and showcases. So flexible cords used in show windows and showcases shall be types S, SE, SEO, SEOO, SG, SGE, SGEO, SGEOO, SGO, SGOO, etc. So exceptions, number 1, so for the wiring of chain supported luminaries. So exception number 2, so a supply cords for portable luminaries and other merchandise being displayed or exhibited. So Chapter 4.0.1.16, so overcurrent protections. So flexible cords not smaller than 0.75 mm squared or 1.0 mm diameter and tensile cords or cords having equivalent characteristics of smaller size approved for use with specific appliances shall be considered as protected against overcurrent in accordance with Chapter 2.40.1.5. Chapter 4.0.1.17, so protection from damages. So flexible cords and flexible cables shall be protected by bushings or fittings where passing through holes in covers, outlets, waxes, or similar enclosures. So in industrial establishments where the condition of maintenance and supervision ensure that only qualified persons service installation, flexible cords and flexible cables shall be permitted to be installed in above-ground raceways that are no longer than 15,000 mm to protect the flexible cord or flexible cable from physical damage. So, where more than 3 current-carrying conductor installed within raceway, so the allowable capacity shall be reduced in accordance with Table 4.0.1.5A3. So chapter 4.0.2.1, so labels, so about construction specifications. So flexible cord shall be examined and tested at the factory and labeled before shipment. So chapter 4.0.2.2, so about the construction. So A, the conductors. So the individual conductors of a flexible cord or flexible cable shall have a copper flexible stranding and shall not be smaller than the size specified in Table 4.0.1.4. So B, nominal insulation thickness. So the nominal thickness of insulation for conductors of flexible cords and flexible cables shall not be less than specified in Table 4.0.1.4. 4.0.2.3, so grounded conductor identification. So one conductor of flexible cords that is intended to be used as a grounded circuit conductor shall have a continuous marker that readily distinguishes it from the outer conductor or conductors. The identification shall consist of one of the methods indicated in Chapter 4.0.2.3 A through F. So A is a colored bead. A colored bead finish to show white or gray color that the bead on the other conductor or conductors finish to show a readily distinguishable solid color or colors. So B, tracer and bread. So a tracer and bread of any color contrasting with that of the bread and no tracer in the bread of the other conductor or conductors. No tracer shall be used in the bread of any conductor of a flexible cord that contains a conductor having a bread finish to show white or gray. So exception. So in the case of types C and PD and cords having the breads of individual conductor finish to show white or gray, in such cords the identifying marker shall be permitted to consist of the solid white or gray finish on one conductor, provided there is a colored tracer in the bread of each other conductor. So C, colored insulation. A white or gray insulation on one conductor and insulation of readily distinguishable color or colors on the other conductor or conductors for cords having no breads on the individual conductors. For jack cords furnished with appliances, one conductor having its insulation colors light blue with the other conductors having their insulations of a readily distinguishable color other than white or gray. So exception, so cords that have insulation on the individual conductor integral with the jacket. So the insulation shall be permitted to be covered with an outer finish to provide the desired color. So D, colored separator. a white or gray separator on one conductor and the separator of a readily distinguishable